What's up, guys? We're back here. Let's take a look at the land NFTs for Archeworld and the Fandom NFTs and talk about what has happened and what we thought was going to happen, because this has been an interesting update, right? So it's been about a week since the end of the land event, and you can see the new current floor price, which is the bottom price of land, is $23.80 for a standard small land. So in theory, that looks like that the prices has gone up. But there's a tricky little thing to this. It's the fact that the KLAY price has actually gone down significantly. So if we go over here, we can take a look at KLAY price, and we can see that KLAY is down to about 14 cents. So it's a lot cheaper than what it was even just 7 days ago. You can just see the cratering of the KLAY price. So yes, it is more expensive now after the event for some reason, but probably because of the KLAY decrease in value. So these things are going back to about the same standard $330, $350. Even before then, we were seeing land about $400. So it is the same slash a little bit higher on the KLAY price. We did actually see some land that got sold around like 1800. And you can take a look at the sales history here. So prices did come down a little bit after the event, but since the price of KLAY dropped, then people realized like, hey, this is really cheap. Like here's one that sold for $19.25, and that's only $269. So same thing, a 1920, an 1890, a 1900, one down here at 1799. So you can see there was a bottoming of these. The prices did go down. It didn't reach that 1500 mark. Obviously, these were all speculations and guesses. That was my best guess of kind of where it was going to be. We didn't hit down to 1500. There was too many buyers, as you can see. Too many lands were being purchased for around that 2000 KLAY price. 1889, and so forth. So that's a very interesting thing that has happened. And then also the large or the medium lands have also gone up in KLAY value as well, which again is probably due to the fact that KLAY price has gone down. So like, even though it says it's 5,500 or 6,500, you can see some of these prices here for the medium one. So 6,000 right here for a medium. This still might not be, as valuable as it was about a week ago or so, right? At the same, a little bit cheaper KLAY prices. Here's one. This looks like, is this a large? No, it's a medium. A medium for 6,500 right here, KLAY. So overall, the prices are going up, but the same dollar value is about the same. And that's mainly due to the fact that KLAY has just cratered down in price. So we were a little bit wrong on this. It didn't decrease as dramatically as we thought with the land coming out. That's partially because there was only about 130 lands that were earned in the land NFT event. So there wasn't as many as we thought. We thought there was going to be about 600 lands earned in the land NFT events, but there wasn't. There wasn't that many. So that was part of the reason why our prediction didn't hit that 1,500 KLAY mark. Let's go over to the Fandom thing now and talk about these. So we thought Fandoms would start going up, and you'll notice, hey, floor price, 877, Fandom has gone way down. But unfortunately, these are glitched. And so this is someone who either knows how to glitch it or is, taking advantage of this glitch. And they're trying to manipulate the price down. So this one's a glitch, and then this one over here also is a glitch as well. This one has been as low as like 1,000 KLAY for a while. So these two, and you can try to buy them. Obviously, go ahead. Good luck. Try buying them. But you can't. I've definitely tried to buy the 800 one. And you can just see over here, the price of these things have been skyrocketing like we anticipated, right? So 1990 KLAY, 1600, 1600, 1650, 1850. So these prices have been going up significantly, just like we thought. We haven't got any new any new confirmation on the next land sale on the Aqua or Marina houses. But, it's getting closer and closer. So as we get closer and closer to that, we also get closer and closer to the North America launch and the land sale for North America. So they're not going to sell the land like a week before America launches. Like, there's no way they're going to do that, right? Because they want people to buy and sell land. They're going to sell the land for the American server at least, a month before, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months before. So we're getting really close, in my opinion, on the American server launch of land. It's going to be a really crazed system because, now you're going to have land parcels, NFTs that are for sale, and someone's going to end up buying, Archeworld land, USA 1, and they're going to think it's for Asia, and they're like, why can't I use it? Like, they just didn't read. It said USA 1 instead of Asia 1. So this is going to be a very confusing time for people that they're going to see America land with Asia land most likely mixed together. Hopefully they do separate the collections, but I really don't think they will. I think they'll put them all together in the same collection. And so you have to be really, really careful when that happens on buying the specific server land right there. So this Asia 1 will become very, very important in the future when it becomes, Europe 1, USA 1, maybe South America 1, and then there's Asia 1. And the prices on each region will definitely be different. So obviously the Asia ones are quite expensive right now, 2,300 as the lowest, as we talked about. But the American lands, when they come out, won't be this expensive, in my opinion. Again, this is all speculation and guessing. And so, like, if XL Games does sell the land for, say, 300 or 600 KLAY for a small standard land, no one's going to buy them on the secondary market for this 2,300. If someone just sold it for, say, 600 KLAY, people aren't going to be like, yeah, I'm going to buy it from you for 2,200 the next day. They're going to be like, screw that. I'm not going to pay 4 times the amount of money that you paid. Like, why should I pay 4 times just because you got it from XL Games? Like, no, that's not fair, right? So that's how these markets work. They don't go like instantaneously. Okay, it was sold for 600 and it doesn't instantaneously become 2,200 like the next day. It's a slow and steady process on these things. Like, so if XL Games sells it for 600, right, then the next day, when there's no more available from XL Games, it probably will sell for around 1,000. A slight profit, pretty good profit actually, almost double. And then slowly over time, people will gobble up those 1,000 ones, and the price will go up. That is what, in theory, should happen, in my opinion. Obviously, everything here is all speculation and all opinions. Let me know what you think. Do you think that is what's going to happen? Do you think we're going to get super cheap land for the American server just like the Asia server got? Do you think that we're going to get a free medium land for every 3 Fandom cards that we hold just like the Asian server? It does say that potentially is going to happen based on the information that we know from XL Games, but obviously everything is subject to change and they can do whatever the hell they want. Like, that's why the BSLT price is very controlled. Like, they control the whole price. It's not on any other exchanges or anything. It's just simply them selling it, and yeah, they have the algorithm there. It doesn't matter if Bitcoin goes up or down. It's because like no other cryptocurrency is tied to it. We're not on Coinbase, or we're not on Binance. We're not on any of the exchanges. We have no other swaps. It's strictly from XL Games to the players to back to XL Games, and everything is controlled. And I think they did this is so that they can control, hacking and botting more. Like, they're not necessarily trying to be a whole 100% crypto game and, lose control of everything. They want to control the environment, control everything, and make sure the game survives and stands on its own, at least probably for the first 3 years. That's what I got out of the white paper. When I read the white paper, they said that they were going to go into like voting and the DOA, in the future, and they're hoping to kind of do this in about 3 years. That's what I personally read out of the white paper and my understanding. So it means that they have a plan for the first 3 years, and then after that, they're most likely going to just open it up, give the server to the communities, give the source codes and things like that, and let the community just do what they will with it, and they're not going to personally update it really anymore. So that's what I got out of it. So their plan seems to be 3 years, do as much as they can, push as much content as they have, because that seems about right. If you look at the content from ArcAge, their prior game, there's about 3 years of content that they have that they could release here in Archeworld without having to really make new content. So, 3-year lifespan on this. And then also, when you think about it too, there is also ArcheAge 2 that is coming out. And the best estimate is 2024 right now, they said. So if ArcheAge 2 comes out in 2024, obviously all the development time and effort and energy are going to be focusing on that game. And they don't really want to waste resources on other projects. They want to be focusing on their one big cash cow, because this whole world, this whole universe revolves around the ArcAge IP. So it's the same world, same skills, same like combat system and everything. And the ArcAge IP holds value, and they're building this universe around it. It's kind of like Disneyland, how they have all their characters, but at the core of it, it's Disneyland. It's Disney at the core. And so then, of course, they have Mickey Mouse, and they have Frozen, and they have Peter Pan, and all kinds of other Disney characters. But at the core, it always feeds back to Disney, and that's the same thing here too. So we have different servers, we have different regions, we have different versions of ArcAge. Archeworld now as well, and everything just feeds back into the main core. And ArcAge 2 is the big game, and this is the game that they expect to make $1 billion off of. They don't expect to make $1 billion off of Archeworld, but they expect to make $1 billion off of ArcAge 2. So that's where they're kind of at, in my opinion. Obviously, I don't know. I'm not personally friends with the developers. I don't know them. I have no connections with them. But just from a business standpoint, that's what I believe that they're doing, and that's how I think they're running their company. So let me know if you think. If you disagree with this, let me know your thoughts on this, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Let me know if there's anything else you want to cover or talk about. Glad to facilitate those conversations and discussions. I'll see you later, guys. Thanks for watching. And man, I'm quite surprised. So personally, I actually sold 2 of my medium lands. So I sold them for 5,500 KLAY a couple days ago, and I'm quite happy with it. Like I told people before, the Asia server is really just a test server for me. We are building up BSLT, we're building up resources, planning for the America launch. And so, eventually I was going to sell my land, and it ended up, I put it up because you can't sell something if it's not listed for sale. And it doesn't really cost anything to list something for sale. So, I put it up when the land was at 4,000, and I put it up at 5,500. And now the cheapest land is right around that 6,000 mark for the mediums, right? So medium 6,000. So the price has started to shoot up, which to me is just kind of crazy, because all the resources that you can make out of this land has actually become a lot worse. Like the labor potions are down to about 4 BSLT. The Archeum is down to about 40 BSLT. So these prices, what you're making out of a small land for the 1 month period, you're only making about 200 BSLT now. So this land is only producing about 200 BSLT. So in about 5 months, you make about $380. So if you look back at some of the older videos, to make profit and to actually earn money, it was a lot better to buy the land back then than it is at now at the current rates. So right now it's taking you 5 months to get all your return on your investment, your initial price that you pay for this, right? Whereas before it was only like 2 months, because the labor potion prices were so high, and also the Archeum was so high. So the value of these lands, in my opinion, have actually gone down a lot. Like you don't make as much, from harvesting these lands anymore. But people are still gobbling them up, buying them up. If the BSLT price does go up more, as we talked about always, that makes the lands more valuable. But BSLT has also started to come back down again. We're back in the 30s. I think it was at 38 cents last that I checked. So, if BSLT stays in that 30 range, it's going to take you approximately 5 months to pay off your land. And then also, from my math, the medium ones aren't as good as the small ones. And as the larger the lands go up, the return on investment gets worse and worse and worse. So to me, it's kind of shocking that the medium prices are up to 6,000 KLAY right now, for example. We're also seeing a lot more people upgrade their Archeum workbenches and upgrade their beds in game. And, I don't really understand that. I've upgraded a bed, but as more of a testing purposes, right? So I've upgraded my beds because labor was selling for a ton. But I don't understand the reasoning really of upgrading your workbenches. And so I upgraded a bed. I think I've upgraded 3 beds, and I upgraded 1 workbench because I wanted to see what the workbench produced and how much labor it cost, right? And so after seeing that the labor cost was doubled, so it takes $270 to normally do basic workbench, and then you get 500 Archeum. And then so the rare one, or the upgraded one, cost 540, and you get 10,010 Archeum every 12 hours. So seeing that the labor cost doubles, it really just makes it like kind of pointless in my mind. It's like, why would you do this? It's way better to always just buy more land than to upgrade your machines. Like just having more different lands, whether it's buying land NFTs and using those, which people are obviously doing, or if it is making different accounts and then renting one from XL Games with each of those accounts and just doing it that way. That's also the other aspect, because there's still some small lands that you could rent in game from XL Games. Like all the land is not taken yet, so that is still definitely possible. So to me, those two methods of investing in land is way better than upgrading your machines and upgrading your bed. So I don't know, maybe I'm doing math wrong, maybe I'm not seeing something that other people are doing, but the return on the investment on the Archeum machine is a long, tedious problem, because it's 50,000 to upgrade it. So you have to make 50,000 back. That's 50 days. Actually, is it more than that? Because so your standard, you get 500. And then you double it, you get 1,000. So it's 50 days to get your return on your investment. And with the prices just cratering down, 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 it's even longer really to get that actual money value back that you spent. It's like if you spent 50,000 Archeum, but the Archeum was worth, we'll just say like 1,000 BSLT for 50K Archeum. In 50 days, when you're like, yeah, I got I got 50,000 Archeum back. But if that 50,000 Archeum is now only worth 500 BSLT, you still lost. You lost 50,000. You lost 50% of your money right there. So it's like inflation happening, where like your BSLT was stronger 50 days ago than it is now. So like if Archeum was going up and if labor was going up, I could see people upgrading their beds and upgrading their machines. But other than that, like with the prices going down, I don't see the reason to invest in those things. Like, let me know your thoughts on this, because definitely I'm confused. To me, it doesn't make sense to upgrade those machines. I've also suggested that those machines need to be buffed. That was I've suggested that multiple times in the Discord channels, because to me the numbers just don't make sense. Like, I would personally never upgrade a machine right now. Like, again, maybe I'm wrong. Like, post some numbers. Let me know what you're thinking on this stuff. Am I completely wrong on the fact that like Archeum machines and beds are terrible investments? Like, they need to produce more? Am I just wrong on this? Like, I very well could be. I could very well be very, very wrong on this. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking on this. I will talk to you guys later. Thank